Okay. So hello guys. So good evening everyone and welcome to today's session. And tonight we'll be talking about introduction to Git and GitHub. We have on the call Curtis. Curtis happens to be a DevOps engineer who works at Neuro and is based in Greater Accra region, Ghana. So hi Curtis, thank you for coming on tonight.
Hello, Amaka.
Teaching. Hello. So thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for the opportunity too.
all right. So you're welcome. So I think we have guys on the call. So guys, go ahead and drop a message on your Discord room so that more people get to join this session. So not to take so much time, Curtis, the floor is all yours. Your screen is being displayed as well.
Okay, sure. All right. So this will be an introductory level, and if you've got more time, we would deal in some little bit in intermediate and advanced Git and GitHub commands. So you can drop a chat if you think I'm moving too fast, and I think if you have any question along the line, send it in, and I'll give you a response. Okay. So first, I'll start. Who am I? I'm Curtis Mensah. And with the info, I'll start with the fun bits. I play games, console, mobile games. I really do love games, love playing games. And I'm also a senior DevOps engineer, currently working with Inu and a DevOps engineer at Lean Icon Technology. I'm a developer advocate. I do help learners and I do mentor upcoming developers. And as well, I do full stack development, switching from front end to back end and to the DevOps bits. It's been a journey, and I would love to share my experiences with everyone. And it's start with you guys though. All right. So I'm a founder of Technovate Solutions. At Technovate, we do bring ideas into reality, converting problems into logic and writing code. Delivering, it's all about delivering IT solutions to businesses and individuals. Okay, I'm a certified DevOps practitioner and product owner, product manager. Um, as well. I am certified with a safe or skilled agile incorporation. Okay, so in this class, we'll be having some, I'll be giving some terms along the line. These terms would be used almost every bit or every statement I make. So let's keep in mind of that and don't get confused. I'm sure you might as well heard some of these things here. One, we've got a directory, we've got a terminal, we've got a CLI, we've got GitHub, we've got Git, we've got a code editor, and we've got a CD. The commands in green are much basic. It runs through the whole SDLC layer, that is a software development lifecycle. You'll be hearing them almost everywhere. And the ones in red, don't stress too much on that. We would delve into them. We've got a conflict, we've got rebase, we've got a merge, we've got a pull request, underscore PRs, we've got a workflow, we've got the logs, we've got a fork, we've got the commit head and the stash. Yeah, so that is some useful terms, and we meet during the lessons. Okay, so we get to the question: what is Git? Um, Git is a version control system. This means it allows you to track changes to your code over time. It does this by sorting snapshots of your code at different points in time. This makes it easy to revert to previous versions of your code or see what changes were made between two versions. So this is a diagram. This is an example where we've got some dates in here, and for each date we see an update. So first we had this section of the window here, and the index grid was added. Next, we've got the user profile, a new update here, and we've got another update on the third layer. So this is how Git works. Git works by tracking changes, and we've got the statements in here that dictates what changes were made on a particular date or a particular time period. Okay. Next, we would look at GitHub. So we get back to the question: what is GitHub? GitHub is a third-party web-based graphical interface that has a copy of your project, and um, it keeps track of what we push or pull. When we talk about people here, people basically means we developers. What do we do on the project? So it's about teaming, and we've got push and pull requests for work and on the same code base. So keep in mind, this is not like Google Docs. This is not like any other things we see online, like the Mega Drives or the OneDrives. This is more of a code repository. We keep track of files and folders, yeah, on our PC or web based. Next, this is a terminal, and I guess we do have an idea of how the terminal works and what the terminal does. So I would head to the next sheet. And next, we've got the workflow. So on the workflow, it involves three main workflows. We've got the feature workflow, we've got the branch, and sorry, we've got the feature branch workflow, we've got the Git flow, and the GitHub workflow. So the feature workflow focuses on the end-to-end or the series of interactions we have in the organization. So every user or every developer creates a new branch, and then the branch is either a new feature or a bug fix. Then once the feature is complete, the branch is merged into a main branch. Next, we've got the Git flow. So I stated this early on. We've got Git and GitHub, where on Git we've got it's an interface or it's an SCM that tracks code changes. So the Git flow focuses much more on versioning and feature branching workflow. So in the Git workflow, it involves the addition of new branches, releasing and to the release and release to the development or the staging or the production environment, and which these environments will talk about it in the little advanced bit of it. Next, we've got a GitHub flow. In the GitHub flow, this is a lightweight version of the feature branch workflow. And this is based on the GUI or the graphic user interface or what GitHub provides us. So it does not require any additional branches except the main branch. Okay, so let me head to github.com so we would have a sneak preview of how GitHub works like. I'm logged into my dashboard. Let me sign out now, and we have a preview of it. Okay, so this is the GitHub application. I think you guys should will be able to access it. It's open. It's an open resource project, so you can contribute. Check the uses of Git, and would even though I'll be teaching you, you just come here, create an account, sign in, or you can create an account to sign in and then start working on your project. So on the sign up phase, you could be asked your email address, your password. You enter all those and you log in. So I already have an existing account. I'll log in now and give you a preview. So, okay, so this is the GitHub dashboard, and everybody would be having the same thing. We've got repositories, and repositories would set it as a container or as a folder that handles all your projects, that contains all your projects. So in every project or to initialize a project, you need to create a repository. And this session to create a new repository, you'd come in here and you are asked a repository name. So this, we have it stated here, a repository contains all project files, including the version history. Already have a project repository elsewhere, you can just import it, run an import. So I'll create a test project uh, called introduction to Git. Okay. With some hyphens and initialize the README file. This is just a sample file and creates the repository. Okay, so in this repository, we've got different things here. We've got a code, we've got issues, we've got pull requests. I listed that out, and got the actions, we've got the projects, the wiki, the security, insights, and settings. With the last 4 or 5 tabs, I don't think we'll talk much about it. I can give you highlights too, but we wouldn't be working with that. It's really not part or a core of the GitHub workflow. Okay, so in here we've got a branch, and a branch is more of like a tag or a description or a name given to a particular feature that is going to be released. So let's say I would call this branch name the staging branch. That would handle tags, or that would handle the staging releases of our application. Hit enter and create a branch. Okay. So I've got staging. I've got 2 branches now. I've got staging and the main. The main branch is always your head. That is the head branch, the root of your project versioning. Let's not forget that. Okay, so I just created a new branch. I'm going to make an update and it would make some comparison. Okay, so this readme is in the Markdown syntax. I wouldn't. You can learn that if you want to. Just feel free and learn the Markdown syntax. So, for this topics, this. Okay, and you've got commit changes. You would commit a change, add a description. So updated the file content. Commit changes. Okay, so I'll head back to the project details, and we've got this here. This is a version update. So then I can switch from branch, the staging branch to the main branch, and we would see some difference. So we have here introduction to Git, that is on the main branch, and you get to wonder, why don't we have the update we made on the other branch, that is on the main branch? So that is what we call the versioning of our application. So we've got a time limit or a timeline given to us that is was updated now, and we've got an info. Staging has pushes less than a minute ago. We should compare or create a pull request. So this is basically how the GitHub flow works. Like you would come to the dashboard, you can download the GitHub desktop application, or you can use the web application via www.github.com. I'll switch to main branch and I don't see the updates. So I'll compare and create a pull request. And then I read the updates, this is the update the file content and create a PR. Okay. So here we've got some checks that run here. We wouldn't talk a lot about the checks. I'll just merge and take note. I have a short info here that there is no conflict with the base branch. So I can just merge and confirm merge. Okay, so then we have here the update that is made. This is a version update on the main branch and on the staging branch. So then we know the staging branch, branch A equals branch B. Next, we would look at the Git flow, and that showed. Let me spin up my terminal. Give me a second. Let me present my terminal now. Okay, so I've got my terminal up, and let me increase the font size and Git. I run Git. So Git, this is the one core thing about Git. Git is more of the versioning system that usually runs in your CLI or your command line interface. So I run the Git command and I have this popped up here. That is a usage or a guide. So in each guide, there's a short description, which states one, you can start a working area, or that is you clone a repository into a new directory, you create an empty repository with a Git in it or the Git clone. You have the to work on a current change. You have the Git add, you have the Git move, you have the Git restore, you have the Git rm, and we've got some advanced bits here. We'll tackle this aspect and the last bit of it, as well as this one. But we wouldn't be doing much revisions or trackings for now. So I'll clear my console now and clone this project. So when we say clone, we understand clone means to copy, to make a copy. And Git allows us to make copies of a repository. And the interaction between Git and GitHub is more of using an engine that is with a Git system. So I can then come here and clone an application, so or a project. We've got two versions. We've got the HTTPS and the SSH type, but I'll focus much on the HTTPS and CD into my project directory. Then list them. Okay, create a new directory. So I'll name it intro. Okay, Git and GitHub. GitHub. Right. And now change directory. When we say CD, that means change directory. Okay. So then inside my Git and GitHub directory, I would clone the project and put in the URL. We've got here cloning into Git, introduction to Git repository or the project, and I have it available on my machine now for introduction to Git. I'll cd into the folder, run an ls, and I've got a readme update here. So this is how it works. We've got the web app, we've got your cloud storage. This GitHub is more of like the cloud storage, and Git is more of the versioning engine. So I was able to make a clone or a copy of my project onto my local machine. Then I would run my code terminal or my code editor. So I'm able to view changes or updates on the system or the content of the directory. It will take a little bit time. But then let's go to some basic Git commands. So in here, we've got the Git init, we've got the Git commit, we've got the Git add, we've got the Git log, we've got the Git status, the Git stash, the Git diff, the Git stash pop, we've got the Git push, the Git pull, the Git merge, we've got the Git move, where you specify your source and your destination. And next, we've got the Git branch. That is to create a branch. You can recall we created a branch on the staging environment or on GitHub for the staging environment. So we've got a Git branch here too. I have my coding terminal open, my coding editor open out. Just bring it up, and I've got a README folder here. So I'll create a new file, call it index.html. Okay, let me just create a Python project. I guess we've got some Python classes, so I think we can just do kill two birds with one stone. Maybe give you some brief intro to Python or whatsoever. So ex1, that's fine. All right, sure. So this is a Python folder, sorry, a Python file where you would create some student data. Okay. So first we would let me just turn this off. Okay, disable globally. Sure. All right. So I've got maybe I'll specify student name. And that would be input enter student name, and we've got a class. Class should be an array, and then build or to student, then build append to the student data, then build. All right, sure. I think it should work. So I'll just run a loop. So for in range 3, I would want to put in 3 students and run the code. I think this should work. Print student class. Right. So we've got the preview of the terminal, and I'll run the application. From 3. Next 1.5. Right. Characters. And so, okay, sure. So in the student class, we've got Curtis, Amma, and Elsa. That is in the class list. So let's say I want to make an update, just like we did on the GitHub dashboard. I just made the update. I want to push it here so developer B can handle the next feature. So then I look at creating a branch. So we've got git a command for git branches to list out all the branch. We've got one branch here that is the main branch. So I'll just run a git branch. Let's see development, and I would list out the branches again. We've got two branches here, main and development, and I can check out to the development branch. Right, sure. And we've got so in here we've got the staging and the production. Sorry, the staging and the main branches, which is we don't have the new branch at the development branch listed out here. I'll first make a pull request or push a code, make a pull request, and you would see the development branch appear on the GitHub interface. So git status, um, check the update I made. I run my git add, that is to stage changes or to allow Git to start tracking the changes on a particular file, and git commit. You quite recall we had to put a description on the update we made. So put in created Python file, and then I run a git push. So after I run a git push, I have an issue that is they tell me to push to or to set upstream to origin development. And this is the reason why I have this error. So on this branch or on this GitHub application, we don't have development branch listed out here. So I'll first need to create an origin and push to the origin, where the origin is this remote link to the secure link to your GitHub project. So then I'll copy this code here and push. Okay. Actually, it's asking me for password. I'll just put key in the password. And I'm done. So you can see here, new branch, development, and development. So we've got an origin of the development that is tracking from my local development branch to the origin development branch. That is what we have on the remote host. And we see the pop-up here or the flash message here stating development has a new update 1 minute ago. So I would,
Hello, Curtis.
hello.
Can you zoom in a bit so that we're able to see your screen clearly rather?
Oh, okay, sure. I'll do that. I'll do just that. Is it okay?
Let's see. Okay. Still zooming a bit, just a bit more. Thank you.
All right. This should be quite better.
Yeah, this is better. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And try something here too. Okay, so we've got a pull request. So back in the presentation, I told you we'll be tackling the terminologies bit by bit. We were able to tackle the clone. We were able to tackle the push and the pull. Okay, we've not done the pull yet. We are tackling the pull request. So this is about creating a PR where you merge your update to a base branch, and we have three base branches set out here. And keep note, you can't merge to the same branch. So I can click development and uh, I have an info, there isn't nothing anything to compare. So you can't merge with your base branch. So I'll just switch to main environment or the main branch and make a pull request. Okay. So back to the coding bits. I've got a file listed. That is the new file listed. That is x1 dot py, and I'll switch to the staging environment, and we will see another thing that is on the staging environment. We don't have an update here. So this means each branch has a particular could have particular data, and the goal of Git is to make sure the head or the root always has an update. So we'd have to either trash out this branch when it's not in use, or we would update this branch. So I would give you guys a glimpse of how the organization flow works, how developers tackle pull requests, how they work together in alignment to bring an application up. So that would be the at the end. Okay, back to the presentation. Okay, so we've got a git init. The git init is more of a command that initializes a new repository. So to create a new repository using the command line interface, you would have to run a git init, configure your email address or your GitHub related account to the project. I'll try create one here. Let's create a test folder, cd into the test folder, and run git init. Okay, so we've got here initialize empty git repository, and I would open this file, or I would just list out the content of the file, sorry, of the folder. Okay, so uh, got git the .git folder. This is literally a folder. Got these two, which is not in use though. I'll cd into this git folder, run an ls, and we've got some content in here. We've got a head, we've got config, we've got description, we've got the hooks, we've got the info, the objects, and the refs. So we get, I'll print this one up and create a new file. Until the application opens, I'll just run some explanation here. Ouch. Okay. Okay, so when I try reading the content of the head file, this is literally a file. Keep note of that. It gives me rev slash heads slash main. That means my default branch or my root branch is the main branch, and we can switch a branch to, but I'll then forget about that, and then let's start the content again. cd into the config folder. Okay, config is a file, so I'll just read the content of the config file. Okay, and the config file states some configuration, that is the Git version format, the ignore case, for the compose Unicode, which you wouldn't use it in any way. It's let demeters automated. If there's any issue, you would run a Google lookup and make some configurations, additional configurations in here. But for now, we'll just leave it by the way. Okay, so I think the result should be up, and delete everything. Yeah. Okay, so these were times before where there was no git. We would identify each box as let's say a folder or a file. Some developers working on the project, and they are to run a contribution, or they are to contribute whatever updates they've got. So let me put file one. File two. And file three. sorry, I misspelled two wrong. Let me just fix it. Okay. So let's say developer A, developer B, developer C. They worked on their local machines and they have to contribute to create an e-commerce application. Then how do they share the folders? They would have to use, let's say, Google Drive or whatever to share their files and to achieve a common goal, that is creating an e-commerce project. So at the end of the day, to the developers then would have to move their they made. Um, let's put this. Okay, so developer A would have to make an update to the e-commerce site. Developer B would have to push in, and developer C would have to push in. And then just to get the e-commerce app running, and you'd have to call someone on phone. Hello, have you made your updates to this, to that, to this, to that, which would be taking too much of development time. That is where we got the introduction of Git and GitHub, where developers are able to contribute to code or they're able to contribute seamlessly. So an instance where you've got your GitHub or the developers creating. Let me just create my user. So the developers being able to push to a remote repository, that is GitHub, where file changes are tracked. So if file one depends on file two, you see the updates in file two, and got another one in file three. That is some strategies we have. That is a dependency tree. So developers won't have to end up using Google Drive or manually worrying the lead to merge all functionalities, all features together, because now you have a live update or a live section where you can see where your code is. If there's any issue, you can just fix the issues using your when there's any issue, let me give it the technical term. When it's a conflict, we fix those conflicts. Uh, Next, I'll check out back to my project and then I'll run a pull. So the git pull command is one unique command that updates your local machine with what we have on the remote branch or what we have on the cloud version. So you run your git pull, you get the updates. Now I can list out the um, list out my branches and branch, and we've got the main and the development branch. So I would want to have the access to the staging environment or the staging branch. So I'll run a git checkout origin slash staging. Okay. So I have an info telling me it's detached from the head. That means staging does not have any connection with the development branch. So then I would have to run a merge or an update to have the staging branch in alignment with the development branch. So the comments is right there. Just I'll have to create it offline. Okay, sure. Let me just create it offline. Sure. So staging. Okay, sure. So I'm able to get a staging branch. status. Okay, so then I have here your branch is up to date with origin staging. So it's cool. And let's see something. So on the remote host, we have the EX1 file available, but on the local host, we've got the file deleted. So this file does not exist anymore. All we have is just this readme folder. So then I would want to create an alignment for the development branch and the staging branch. So I'll just run a command that is git merge development. Okay. And we have this update here, EX1, the file appears. And I can run a git push. Okay. So this is what happens when I push. I'm able to see EX1 in the staging branch. So this is it's very light, very fast. So developers would prefer using the Git and GitHub than to share files or folders using a pen drive or using the Google Drive. This is where collaboration is much seamless and effective. Others would use Bitbucket, that is based on your organization preferences or your organizational tools. So just like GitHub, Bitbucket works just like GitHub. So there's no need to get confused though. Okay. So we were able to treat git init, git commit, git add, git log. All right. So with a git log, it's to track the updates made on the project, the timeline, and each various features or with each various description. And next, we've got a git status, a git stash, and a git diff. Let me work with the git log, the git stash, the git diff. And I'm going to create a new file, ex2 py. And with ex.py, we won't do anything. I'm just going to write some comments. Analyzed. File and save. Status. And I've got a new file that is on track on the staging environment. So we were to treat the git diff, the git log, and the git status. So first I'll run a git log. And we have some info here. We've got a commit with a commit ID. Let's bear in mind each commit ID is very unique to commit. And we've got a head, that is the staging. We've got the origin staging, the origin development, and the development. And the description we have here is created a Python file. Next, we've got update readme. And to quit, you just press your kill button. That would quit this log or this shell, this interactive shell. And I'm out of this. Okay, so I run my git status, and I've got ex2.py, git add status again. Got the update here. I can then run git stash. And then let me just run git status once more. We see here the difference. One, we had a file that was tracked, and next they're telling us the file is not tracked anymore. I'll check my file directory, and I have ex2 not available here. So that means somehow I lost my file. And let's just say the file is not lost, the file is still kept, and we can retrieve it anytime we want. Just that we are not dealing with this feature. So imagine an instance or a scenario where you are working on a feature and stakeholders tell you to stop working on the feature. So you have to run a a git stash, and then that would save the content elsewhere. So let me just create another file called ex3.py, and then Uh, yes, I'm going to print uh, this. If I make it state.com. Sorry, I'm having too many inputs. All right. For ex3.py listed here, and I can add comments. Um, added in feature. Okay, so I think for the push, I can head to my GitHub push, and I have ex3 here. So then, let's say you would want to go back to ex2 where you want to retrieve the file and continue work with ex2. Then I want to get up, git dash up. Sorry for the mistake. And this dash up brings out the file. So out of nowhere, I have ex2 or the feature now up. Let's say you're working on a password reset feature and they were like, let's prioritize the OTP feature. And after this iteration or after the next sprint, we would work on this feature. You can just bring out the feature and continue working on it. So I can add the file. Let me call it backfix. Okay. And we should have EX2 available here. Sure. Here we are. We've got EX2 available here. So then we've got the staging environment or the staging branch updated. Now, the next we have to look at is just go down to some useful resources. Before everything, let's have a look at some documentation, some online documentations. We review them and we talk about them. Each command, each reference, do that right away. Okay, so this is a GitHub cheat sheet. You might want to refer to it at any point. This helps us set up Git on our machines, helps us create our first repository, push, pull, clone, or whatever. So got them listed out here. I'll explain each section bit by bit. So this is just for the installation. That is installing GitHub desktop on your PC. This is a configuration where you have your username, your email, and whatever theme you want. So this with this file helps us track a particular GitHub user or a particular Git user to push code or to pull code. So I'll just run git help. Config. That's all. Yes. All right, sure. So let's take note. I've got user.name, that is CURMENS, Clemens, and we just come here and see my username, Clemens. So this is related to my GitHub address. I've got my email listed here. That is the email I have up front. Got the staging branch, the development branch, the main, and the origin, where the origin is more of the URL to a particular project or a particular repository. All right, so back to the cheat sheet. We've got branches. I thought about branches where you create a new branch with a get branch command. You create a checkout to the new branch you created or to a much older branch. You can merge to a branch and you can delete a branch. So let's say I would want to delete a branch, uh, branch dash D and specify development, right? So I can list my branches now, get branch command, and I have this main and staging. So this is to delete a branch. Okay, next, let me go left to right. Next, we have the repositories. Git init helps initialize a new repository or to turn an existing directory into a Git repository. We have the Git clone that helps us download a copy of a project to work on. And we've got a Git ignore file that helps or that tells Git, it's more of a command. You put in various files or folders to tell Git not to track that file. So let's say I have a passwords file. First, I'll create my Git ignore file, no, and create a password.txt, passwd.txt, name it, let's say email. There's a password to my email. Um, at so it's a password to my email and save it. Then in the git ignore file, you can just put in password.txt, passwd.txt, and you see some magic happens. We've got some magic here. Before we had a U here, some sort of U or symbol here, and now it's missing. Let me just put in password.txt and we would have it appear here. So it basically tells Git not to track this particular file folder. For folders, you can just put, let's say, uh, images, and then put in images. Okay, so let's take notes. We've got the files and the folders. Folders mostly would end with a slash, actually slash, and files wouldn't end with anything. So let's keep in mind you can add your regex rules. Maybe there's a particular image you wouldn't want to add or to push. That could be logo.png. Save it, and then inside images, I don't want to push the logo, but save it. Then the logo won't be pushed, but any other file inside the images folder will be pushed. Style.css pushed. So this is just a bit of it. All right, next we've got synchronizing your changes. I ran a git fetch command that called out the remote branches for the git merge, the git push, the git pull. Next, we've got making changes. I run a git log, and we've got a git log follow. That is to track changes on a particular file. And next, we've got git diff. That checks the difference between two updates or a file. We've got a git show to show the metadata or the description of a commit. We've got the git add, the git commit. We've got the reset add, just to roll back your updates. Yeah. So next, you've got a git flow. So this is what I wanted to explain. First, you've got your head, and you've got your master branch. Next, you've got, let's say, a feature branch where each feature branch has a commit. You create a commit, you submit a pull request, and then with a pull request, your team can decide to review the pull request, make discussions, and before you push to the production or to the master environment, master branch. So just try this out. Git add, git commit, um, git styling. So I'll head back to the Git repo, and we've got the updates here. I'll try contribute, open a pull request to main. So in real world scenarios, you would have to add a reviewer. Maybe I would add a reviewer, a new X, and this is not an online organization, so there's no reviewers to show. So I can put in the reviewer's name or put in a particular user email at gmail.com. That would spin up the reviewer. I can assign this task to someone to review. Mostly, we assign the task to the technical lead to review the pull request before it's merged into the production environment. So next, let's come back. So when discussions are made, then you push to the master branch, and we've got some useful resources here. You can attend to them. You can share. I can share the presentation upon request, and you can also access training.github.com to access this cheat sheet. You might want to use it at any point in time. So thank you very much. If there's any question, you can just send it out, and I would help you with that.
Hello, Curtis. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
All right. So thank you so much for that session. I don't seem to have a I don't seem to find any questions here on the chat. I think just a little complaints here and there about not understanding, but I guess when they watch the video all over again, they would understand. And also, I would
Okay.
drop your handle on our Discord channel so they can as well connect with you and reach out if they want to ask questions. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. I can share my Discord ID, and you can send it in.
All right, okay, that's fine. So I would get that
Sure,
from you and also have it
sure.
put on the server. So thank you so much for this session. I guess we learned something new today. So that will be all for tonight. Have a lovely time. Thank you once again for coming on this session. And guys, I'll
You're
see
welcome.
you on the Discord server. So that's all. Thank you so much, Curtis. Have a
Sure, you're
lovely
welcome.
evening.
You
Okay.
too. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. All
Goodbye.
right. Okay. Bye.